Obviously, you've had such an incredible career, and I'm acting like we're wrapping it up, your career. You're just killing it out there all the time. But, you know, I'm always impressed with, you're such a very, and it's not maybe the first thing people would think of, but you're so naturally funny. You're a very funny guy.
Thank you, man.
And I always notice that when we chat and when I bump into you. And I thought, oh, has he ever used that before earlier in his life? And then I found out that you tried stand-up in high school. What was your act like?
I foolishly did do that. I was with a friend who is as ridiculous as I was, and we thought we could probably do this. We were driving by Larimer Square. I think the comedy is a comedy store. There's some place spot there, and they had an open mic night. And it was Friday night, and we had just had a week of whatever at school, and we thought, you know what, we're theater geeks, we could probably do this. So we went back to my house, and we had a bunch of, you know, cards, and our humor was like we diagnosed the humor of Nancy, the comic strip Nancy.
Which Nancy is not as in funny. Nancy and Sluggo?
That's right.
The comic that no one has ever really been able, I think Henry Bush Miller did that comic, and it doesn't make sense.
No, it's objectively unfunny. There's nothing funny about it. So we diagnosed the humor of Nancy for everybody to explain why it was indeed hilarious. We did a series of Pope Francis jokes with him on the shitter and a bishop holding his hat while he told the worst jokes in the world.
Okay, great. So you had the material. Let's face it, you had the material.
We had the material. I don't know how, but we had it. And we went back that night, and you know, we're too young to be in the club. We're 17 years old. But we did it, and it was great. And we had
it worked.
It worked.
Wow.
So the club owner was like, okay, why don't you guys come back next Friday? We're gonna have another open mic, see how you like it, just try it out. So we did, and worked up a bunch of other material, and a game show where, you know, if you got the answers wrong, the consequences were deadly, not just, you know, like reach in the bag and get bit by an asp. It was like stuff like that.
Right.
Killed again. It was like, this is
incredible.
This was incredible.
You could have had an amazing career.
And
what happened here?
Then we did it again. So you already know.
Okay, it's the third time.
There you go.
What happened the third time?
Well, in front of an invited audience of family and friends and others, it didn't go as well. And the collective sound of individual people groaning, the groan that, like, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So we bombed, and I've never felt anything that horrible. It's bombing on stage and there's nowhere to hide, there's nowhere to pass the ball, you just have to stand there. You're praying that the time is up really quickly. You can't walk off. It was just bad.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Never happened to you.
You know what I always say is when you can hear the air conditioning. When I can hear the air conditioning, and sometimes it gets so quiet, you can hear cells dividing in people. Like bloop, bloop, bloop. And it is the most horrible thing. So that night, and it's interesting because your first two times, you're killing it.
Yep.
And then it's that third time where this sort of reality sets in of this is not what it will always be like.
Right, yes. This is not what it will be like for the next 3 minutes while you have to stand up here. And it was so bad, it's like, you know, on the way home, my parents didn't talk about it at all. We talked about other things, didn't mention it. We're like, yeah, that's not bad.
That's death, when you get in a car after a show and people that were there don't say anything.
No.
They just say, so we want to get something to eat?
Exactly.
Eat.
Let's just move on to the next thing.
Shouldn't we talk about what just happened back there? I don't think so.
I don't think you want that.
Do you come from a funny family? Is your mom funny?
Mom was funny. Dad was funny. Mom was funny / dangerous. It's like, you know, my mom grew up, and both my parents are from small towns in Midwest, but my mom grew up in kind of a bad area. And when she was young, she actually carried a gun. She carried a little .38 that I found going through her stuff. And you know, I gingerly asked her about the gun, you know, and she said, oh yeah, I've had that gun for a long time. I carried it when I was young, but I had to stop carrying it. And I said, why? She said, because excuse me turned into move. I was like, okay.
That is some experience to
Isn't
find,
it?
like, I'm just going through mom's purse.
Oh.
Lipstick and compact and .38.
Oh, .38. I guess I'm gonna listen when mom asks me to do something.